What if in today's lesson I make you successful in attending any interview that you have in your life? Hi everyone, my name is Ridan and I welcome you with a very big heart on Let's Talk. In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about 10 words for a successful interview. 10 words that you can use to talk about yourself on a successful interview and make the other person, the interviewer in this case, know the fact that you are somebody who's very eloquent, somebody who's very aware of himself or herself as a person. So let's get started and dive into this lesson. The first word that we have on the list today is meticulous. It's very important for us to understand the pronunciation as well when we say a word. It is meticulous, not meticulous. It is meticulous. Let's understand its meaning. It means somebody that shows great attention to detail. A lot of times, whenever I've asked the meaning of this word to people, people say that it actually means somebody who is very hardworking. But no, it is not hardworking. It is somebody who does the job with details. For example, you can talk about yourself as a meticulous person who is into doing any project with a lot of detail. Let's look at some examples. Number one, I handled all my previous projects with meticulous detail. So, the person is saying in the interview that all the projects that I had before, insofar I've handled all of them with a lot of detail. I'm not somebody who just looks at it from a bird's eye view and say, okay, it's fine, it's good to go. But somebody who questions, somebody who gets into the nitty-gritties, minute details of everything. So I think this is a very good word in order to talk about that you are a very, very trustable person because you do every job that you have with a lot of detail. Let's now look at the next example. Many hours of meticulous preparation had led me with the deal with Reliance, had led me win the deal with Reliance. So the person worked on a lot of meticulous details. That means the person worked with a lot of minute preparation when it comes to winning the deal with the Reliance firm. Everybody knows the Reliance group of companies. So the person worked with a lot of meticulous detail and finally was able to win the deal. So that was all about being meticulous. Do use that in your job interviews. Let's now look at the next word. The next word is reliable. Very interesting word. Do you remember the group of companies that we spoke about in the previous example, Reliance? This word actually comes from there, and it means a person that can be trusted or believed. Reliance is your trust in other person, and reliable is a person that you can trust and believe. A lot of people say that I'm an honest person, but honestly, honest is a very basic word. Another word that you can use to describe yourself on an interview is reliable, and that means that you are somebody who is trusted and believed. Let's use this in an example. In my recommendation, my boss has mentioned how reliable I am as an individual. So when you finish your job, for example, you're traveling abroad or you're applying for the next job, and your boss, previous boss or current boss is generous enough to write a recommendation for you. Recommendation means that you would like to recommend that person. You would like to talk about that person so that the next interviewer, the next employer gets to know that that person has a lot of those qualities which he or she achieved in the previous job. So, reliable is a person that can be trusted. So the person writes in the recommendation that he or she is somebody who is trustable, that you can rely on, that you can trust and you can believe for any job that you do. Considerate, beautiful word. It means someone who is kind and helpful. When you think about somebody else in the job that you do, you are a considerate personality. Let's look at some examples. My considerate behavior helps me connect with people quite easily. So, my kind and helpful behavior helps me connect with people easily and therefore makes me fit for the job that you have. A lot of times people fail to talk about themselves successfully when it comes to talking about their helpful behavior. They simply say, I am quite a helpful personality. But considerate is one word that you can use which talks about the wealth and the knowledge of your English language. And thus, people would be able to rely on you for a lot of work. Gregarious. Now, this is a word that has become quite famous in the last 10 years, and it means a very sociable person. somebody who socializes with people quite easily, somebody who meets people and becomes friends quite easily with them. For example, we need someone who is gregarious to present us at the inter-college fair. Now, maybe this is being spoken from the interviewer's end, and the person saying that we are looking for a person who's very sociable. We are looking for a person who becomes friends with people quite easily, and that means gregarious. So you can talk about yourself that I am somebody who meets people, becomes friends, and gels with people quite easily, and I'm a gregarious personality on your interview. Next one is, I become friends with anyone because of my gregarious personality. Of course, because you're sociable, because you connect with people easily, what's meant to happen? You are somebody who will become friends with people easily. So if you're somebody who's like that, a sociable person, do not say sociable, say I'm quite a gregarious personality. Let's now move on to the next one. Resourceful. Resourceful. What do you think is resourceful? Resourceful is skilled at solving problems and making decisions. So this is somebody who solves problem. Any problem that there is, that person has a solution of that problem or is able to find a solution, successful solution of that problem and makes decision. So these are two things in one person. It's like a two-in-one. First, the person is solves problem easily, and second, makes decisions as well. Next one, the example for that is, on my previous job, I learned to be resourceful from my boss. That means my boss was somebody who taught me how to solve problems and make quick decisions. And therefore, in this example, particular example, the best thing is that you're not only talking about yourself, but you're talking about somebody else. You're talking about the job that you did, probably the people that you had. It's not just you, but the people that you worked with helped you become resourceful. I think a very nice example in the way you can use this word. Next one is, my reporting manager was very resourceful and played a major role in my career in handling professional issues. Who would not want a reporting manager like this? Somebody who's resourceful, somebody who solves all your problems, and somebody who makes decisions for you. I think I would want one, and I think I would want to be one as well in my future. So, resourceful, solves problems, and makes decision. It's time to look at the next one. The next word is objective. One very important thing with this word is how people pronounce the sound O here, and they say objective, ob. It's not ob, it's ub. It's objective. It means someone who is not influenced by personal feelings or opinions while considering and representing facts. So in simple language, somebody who's not biased, somebody who does not take sides. Okay, I like Hridan or I like ABC. Not like that. Somebody who takes decisions based on facts and not influenced by feelings. Does not get affected by feelings. For example, I'm very objective as I do not react in difficult situations. I take time to reflect and respond wisely. This means that I am a person who does not take decisions on spur of the moment. I take time to reflect and take my decisions wisely. The next example is, I believe, as a manager, one should be completely objective and never be biased to anyone. As I was saying before, so a manager, here's a manager, this person has applied for the post of a manager in a company, and the person's talking about how non-biased he or she is. The person's saying, I'm objective and I do not take sides, take my decisions responsibly based on facts and not feelings. Let us now move to the next word. The next word is diligent or methodical. Now, these are two different words, but they come from the same family, so they have the same meaning. Diligent and methodical. Someone who works hard and pays attention to what they do. Now, let's have a look at it in an example. My boss appreciated me for being diligent in writing content for our new website. So the boss that there was or there is found the other person diligent for the next assignment that was coming up. And so, why was the person given the next assignment? Because of the hardworking nature and the very fact that the person pays attention to what they do. It can as well be related to meticulous, which was the first word in the lesson today, but not exactly the same. The next example is, I was always diligent, and it's helped me to be successful on all my projects. I have always been somebody who works hard and who pays attention to what I do, and that is why I was successful on all the projects that I had before. What an amazing way to talk about the previous successes that you have. Because of your diligence, because of your hard work, because of your methodical attitude, you were always successful at all the interviews and the projects that you had. Let us now look at the next word in the list. The next word is sagacious. Not sagacious, it is sagacious. Sagacious is to have or showcase keen mental judgment. So again, quite related to the previous example, it is somebody who is quite good in making mental judgments or shows his or her analytical skills. Let's see how we can use it. I was sagacious enough to not argue with anyone in the meeting and tackle the matter wisely. For example, this is the boss speaking, let's say, or you have applied for a boss's position in the interview, and you're saying that there were a lot of hard times in the meetings that I had because people did not have right set of communication skills. But I was sagacious enough, I was analytical enough, I was smart enough, most importantly, to understand that I do not have to respond on a snap. I'm somebody who tackles the matter wisely. Bona fide. Bona fide is quite an interesting word. It means anything that is genuine or real. Anything that is genuine or real. For example, I'm a bona fide expert in teaching English as a second language. I am a genuine expert in teaching English as a second language. That means I have had a lot of experience in teaching English domestically, internationally, with a lot of qualifications, and thus that person, whoever he or she is a bona fide expert in that. The next one is, my previous boss was a bona fide person who believed in helping everyone. My previous boss was a genuine person. Now, if you say this very example on an interview, let me tell you, you're bound to get the job. Do you know why? Because you're not talking about yourself, but you're praising somebody that you worked with. People like people who appreciate other people more than them appreciating themselves. So it's a good idea that you use this word in this context. My boss was genuine and real. The next word is prudent. Prudent means someone who shows care and thought for the future. So somebody who's not just about today. Today is the one and all. Somebody who thinks about future scenarios as well. For example, today we have to think about environment, and so we've got to be prudent so that the next generation can as well make use of it. Let's see how we can use it in an interview scenario. My prudent personality makes me the right fit for the team leader's position. So the person has applied for a team leader's position, and the person says that I'm somebody who shows care and thought for future and for everyone, not just in the present moment. So I think I'm a prudent personality who would be able to handle this team leader's position in a very wise manner. Next example is, only can a prudent trainer change the level of English of his or her students for good, and I think I am one. Now, quite fits the bill of the person who's teaching it actually. Only a prudent teacher, as a matter of fact, not just teaching English, but any teacher for that matter, can change the level of a person from 0 to 10 if the person cares for the other person's future. So this was about being prudent, and that's all for today. Thank you very much for being with me on this lesson. I hope you enjoyed understanding how you can use some very important words when it comes to talking about yourself on an interview. Please make sure that you use them and make yourself successful. Lots of love and take care.